Good morning and welcome to SatHERday's with Shalimar J. I am your host, Shalimar Johnson. And as I am every SatHERday, I am on this Saturday excited. I'm excited that you have taken time out to join me on this morning and have been doing so every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Preach the Word Worldwide Network. Thank you so much. I also thank you for your feedback. Those have been giving me interesting ideas for show topics and also making suggestions for those individuals that could possibly be interviewed on SatHERday's with Shalimar J. If you would like to give feedback, please send it to me. Go to the website at www.girlembraceit.com and submit a feedback request, a show request, and also other types of requests. Just go through the website and you'll see exactly what is there for you. So, on last week, well, actually the week before last, when I was the guest, I mean, you had your moments with Shalimar J. We were talking about resetting, making a list, and thinking really deeply about the things in your life that need to be reset, whatever they are, or the people in your life that you need to kind of reset in that there has to be a do-over, a start over. You may need to remove people from your life, resetting the way that you're thinking about things, resetting your goals, whatever it was. We were supposed to be focusing on a reset. All right. Some people have reached out to me and gave me what they put on their list as their reset. One individual said that they wanted to reset their goals for business and entrepreneurship. Another wanted to reset their entire house because it was in complete chaos. They wanted to reset their self esteem. Good one, among a few other things. So, resetting. Well, for me, I decided that I needed to do a reset as it relates to similar to the self esteem that was here on my list, as it relates to my thoughts about what I can do. Now, I'm not talking about, oh, I want to go through all of these things. I've got all of these to-dos, right? I've got these things I want to do for business. I've got these things that I want to do personally. I have these things I want to do spiritually. No, I'm not talking about those kinds of things that I can do, but more along the lines of believing that it is possible. I always want to do what God desires for me to do. And so with everything that comes to my mind, I pray earnestly, honestly, God, is this your will? Is this your idea that you're giving me? Is this the vision that you have for me? I mean, I see this thing, but am I picking it up from somewhere else? And so when I get to a point in time where the idea comes, I've got the vision, and it's clear to me that God is giving it to me, Shalimar has to, before I did the reset, get to a place where it's like, okay, this thing is actually possible because God never gives me anything simple. It's like this big thing, this big idea that's so impactful. And it doesn't mean it's necessarily impactful to the masses. It can be something that I need to present to an individual that could impact their life for the rest of their life. And I, one point in time in my life, got so consumed with quantity, but as I grew a little older and had more experiences, I got more concerned with quality. And I found that I was getting concerned really about quantity when I was comparing myself to what someone else was doing. And my journey is my journey. The people that God has assigned me to are the people that He assigned me to. And it may not be anybody that has been assigned to anybody else. Everyone has an assignment. There may be a time for one person to work with Lady A, and Lady A has done what she needed to do with that individual. And then I find myself working with Lady A as well at the point in time that God set for it to be done and in the capacity that He wants me to do it. So I struggled with that for a little bit. But now that I decided consciously to do a reset in terms of how I think about the things that I can do, that I'm capable of doing, once God has confirmed that it is okay to do it because this is in his will, I've begun to start saying, yep, it can be done. That's it. Block comes my way, knock it down. you know, uh, I get to a place where I'm kind of stuck. Okay, here, I need to go back maybe, review some things, take a break. Sometimes we have mental blocks, not because of the fact that the devil is necessarily in the way and the devil is trying to take over and block my blessing, but sometimes your brain just need a break. Your brain just needs to rest. So mentally, your brain is like, yo, I can't take anymore. I cannot have anything else inserted into this thing. You can't deposit anything else. I am on overload and I might explode. So you need to give me a minute so that all this stuff can be digested. Okay. So we're going to make it like the brain does what the system, intestines, and all that does. It digests. Okay. So it's got to digest the stuff that you're putting in it, and you've got to give that muscle the opportunity. You don't want to overwork it. You overwork anything in your body, it shuts down, it tears, it breaks, it rips. Think about everything in your body. There's a possibility for there to be a rip, a break, or a tear. Excuse me. And so, yeah, the devil don't like what I'm about to say, y'all, but I'm gonna keep on speaking. And I'm so, I'm gonna do a little sidebar real quick. When God instructed me to do SatHERday's with Shalimar J, he wanted it to be real, real moments, real people, about real things, a real God in real time, right? And I record live and then we air them, right? And I could edit and all that, and sometimes we have to. And at one point, it was all live before we got on network television. But the authenticity of the moment is something that I just really live for. And something just like that, just coughing, a person could be like, take that out. It's so, it's not professional and it's not. But when we're dealing with this kind of stuff, we've got to look at them from all angles. And there can be instances in time where you're saying something that's so profound and so impactful, and the enemy hears it and knows it and tries to block you from being able to give that information that needs to be given. And it can be done as simply as in a cough or a sneeze, or needing to take a sip of water or something like that. And I don't take those things lightly. I mean, I just had to cough, yes, but I'm not even cutting it out because somebody might have needed that. Like, man, in the middle of her giving some information and talking about what to do with the reset and how she's doing things, she stopped for a minute. She had to clear her throat. She had to cough, but she kept on going. And I turned every moment into an opportunity to learn. And so for that person who's watching now and feels like, whoa, did she just keep on moving like that? And for others, it may not be that big of an idea or big of a deal. And that means that this moment right here isn't for you, but still listen in. But for the person that this moment is for, keep on pushing. Girl, embrace it. The job has to get done. The message has to be delivered. The moment has to go from moment to moment to moment to moment, right? So keep on moving. But anyway, what did you decide to reset? Send an email to girlembraceit@gmail.com and let me know the things that you decided to reset. I'm interested in finding out. So now that we've decided what the reset is going to be, I've shared with you a little bit about what my reset is, and a little bit about why, and not to stay there too long. The next thing is to be realigned. You've got to realign some things. Now that you've decided, I want to reset, I got to start some things over. I got to, remove some things, the vision, I've got the business and I wrote everything down, but there are a few little errors here. So, okay, maybe I need to start the business there. Maybe I need to start somewhere else. Maybe I just need to start over from the name of the business. Maybe I don't need to worry about the name of the business just yet. It'll come once I figure out what it is that I'm doing. Whatever it is, it's got to get realigned. There is havoc in my house. There is no order and structure in my house. And I needed to do a house reset. That means everybody sit down. Single mothers, even single fathers, but I'm going to talk to the single mothers because, this is all about the girl and the girl embracing it. I've been a single mother, okay? I've been married twice. My first experience having a child, I did it by myself for the most part. 90% of it on my own, trying to figure out daycare, trying to figure out, work. I was going to school, got pregnant, didn't go to my graduation, and I'm speaking of vocational college. I did not um, go to my graduation because I was just a week after having my son. And I had to figure out how to finish school while I was, expecting. Y'all, my car broke down and literally I had to walk blocks to get to, to work and to school. So I would catch the bus and to a friend who I worked with. I'm going somewhere with this guy, so follow me. And I would walk 4 blocks from the bus stop to their house, drop my child off, and then she and I would carpool, so I paid her for gas, and we would go to work together. But then I had to go to school. So when I was out of work, our schedule was different. She left work before I did. I walked 8 blocks pregnant to school, and somebody from my school could, would take me home. I would try to call, like my mom, sometimes she'll pick me up, things like that. I had to figure it out. I made the bed, I had to lay in it, I had to figure it out. Then everything got, set, and I got a car, back up and going and everything like that. And I was able to, finally get transportation and finish school. But then I had to work, and reality set in. I'm working, but I got this little person to worry about. And uh, people don't just always want to watch your kids. You have people that you feel will watch your child, and they're like, I don't feel like doing it today. And sometimes I experience I'm not doing it today 30 minutes before I had to be to work. So I was looking around like, I called dad. Dad's like, I'm at work. I can't do it. So it was so much for me, right? But I made it through. And then I got married. That marriage didn't go well. It was very abusive. Thank God I got out of it, moved on, had another child in that marriage. Things got tough, got married again. There were a lot of adjustments that needed to be made, blending families, a new person, and all of these things. Had another child in that marriage. And at a point, everything was just chaotic. I'm talking about resetting the house, y'all. And I am admonishing that individual who wants to reset their house to consider what I did. You know what? Let's sit down. We got to have a conversation because things ain't going right? I've done it before I got married again when I was newly divorced and I had my 2 children and we had to reset, and I did it after I got married again. And then that's another story because that marriage wasn't always happy. But today's not the day to talk about that. So there were times, even being married, sometimes you feel like you're single. That's another topic that we will talk about, the single married woman, right? Or I call it the single married woman, but it's the feeling like you're single married woman, but you'll understand it more when we get to that point in that particular segment. But you've got to sit down and say, look, guys, what are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you want out of life? Talk to each child on their level, whether they are young or old, 2 or 20, and you got a 20-year-old living in your house. The conversation can be had according to their level of understanding, but each one of them should be able to tell you what they want to do with their life at that point in time. Explain to them where you see your family. Talk to them sometimes about the struggles that you had so that they can understand, like, life ain't just simple. It's not just the lights get turned on and the water is running and you eat. Work has to take place in order for those things to be done. And sometimes it's not easy. And sometimes I don't even tell you, but I don't even know how it's going to get done. They need to understand the reality. And when you start setting standards and then resetting them, and going back to the drawing board with your family, your children, if you are a single parent, and saying, look, guys, what we were doing before isn't working. Everyone's got a responsibility in this house. You got to do your chores. You got to do your job at school. And if you've got teenagers that have, second jobs or another or a job that they do out of school, because I know some teenagers, they got two part-time jobs. They go one during the week, another on the weekend, whatever the situation is. Talk to your children. Let them know what their role is in the house, what your expectations are of them. Talk to them and ask them, what do they need from you? Because sometimes kids are, they're kids, but they still need mommy. And you're thinking it's all good, but all they wanted to do was just run with you outside in the yard or at a park once a week, maybe for 10 minutes, or just hug them more often. So talk to your kids also about what it is that they need from you. Because parents, we often get caught up in what we want from them and what they need to do and what they better do, which is true. But seldom and sometimes in some situations, never do we consider or even talk to them about what they need more from us, not just the financial stuff, not the roof, not the food, not the clothes, not the electricity, not making sure that they're able to participate in extracurricular activities. It's other stuff that they need. So have that conversation. Reorganize, restructure. Like for me, I had to redelegate some things. Like I realized I had this kid doing this thing, this one doing that one, but now it was time for them to step up and do something different. And I had to switch their chores and house responsibilities around. That was the way that I did a reset. Now we've got new responsibilities. I set new consequences. If I don't see that this is done the first time I have to say something about it, this is what's going to be taken from you, or this is what's going to happen. The next time around, it's going to be that in addition to something else. And if it's a third time, we need to have another type of conversation, right? That was the reset that I did. Now, when it comes to your self-esteem, and I'm just kind of focusing on a couple of the things that I mentioned that were sent to me on my list. When it comes to resetting the way that you think about yourself, kudos to you, okay? Because the biggest thing in that is recognizing that there is a reset that needs to take place. And the first thing you need to do is identify why you felt that low about yourself. Sometimes you got to dig real deep and go back really far to remember the point in time when how you felt about yourself shifted. And if you continue to travel down and you realize, like, I'm at when I was 4, I don't quite remember that. The furthest I can go back is about 7, and that's when this thing happened. Then it could very well be that most of your life you've just felt that way. But what was it that happened and when? And once you realize and identify the thing that took place that caused you to feel that low about yourself then and still now, you take that in prayer. God, I've realized that I am feeling low, less than, not pretty, not valuable because of this that happened in my life. And you take it to Him and ask Him to deliver you from it. You've got to release it to Him. You've got to let go of it. Is it going to be easy? Not necessarily so. But there's a God that does the impossible. And the thing that you felt may not really be easy could be just as simple, but you'll never know until you bring it to Him. And even if the process doesn't seem that simple, still go through the process. Girl, embrace it. Because when it is all over, the feeling of achieving that would be so wonderful. Words could not explain. I promise you, I know what I'm talking about because I have been there. My reasons for having low self esteem may not be the same reasons for you having low self esteem. But self esteem being low is self esteem being low, regardless of who's feeling it and why they're feeling it. That thing isn't a good feeling. period. And so I commend you for making that assessment and realizing that that reset needed to take place. So now that we are now at the point of realizing that there has to be an realignment, you've got to realign some things. That's the next thing I want you guys to do. Your next assignment, there's a teacher in me, is to begin jotting down how you are going to start realigning things in your life as it relates to the thing or things that you have to reset. And sometimes when you start looking at it from that perspective, you may realize that there are other things that need to make some adjustments, that you need to reset, and that will lengthen your list. And that's okay, because the ultimate goal is not about feeling bad because you've got this long list and like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? I got all these issues. I got all this stuff I got to do over. That's not even what it's about. What it is about is getting closer to God. What it is about is feeling that sense of freedom and no longer being bound by these things that have been weighing you down. What it is about is moving forward. What it is about is getting things done that you felt like you shouldn't do and couldn't do only because things have been holding you back, not because God said not to. It was you that was in the way. It is about being in a place mentally, emotionally, and spiritually that's so deep, and deep in a good way, that the bad sometimes goes unnoticed. I'm in such a great place that I didn't even realize that this thing came my way. I rolled that thing off my shoulders, so it once used to plague me, but now it doesn't even faze me. That's what it's about. Getting to that place, realigning some things, reset, and now let's realign. One quick moment, guys. I want you all to pay close attention to this brief announcement, and then I'll be right back. Told y'all it was going to be brief. Well, as I mentioned earlier in the show, and as the ad was saying, if you will please provide me with feedback, I would really appreciate it. There is still a giveaway, and I believe it'll be a nice little giveaway. I'm not telling you what it is. Ha ha ha, because you've got to submit the feedback in order for me to let you know what it is, and then you can decide if it is a gift that you are interested in receiving. Simply go to www.girlembraceit, GIRLEMBRACEIT.com, and you're going to search for in the menu the contact, and then it'll give you an option to submit a request for feedback. So it'll say SatHERday's with Shalimar J feedback, and you can send your feedback that way. You've got to do it through the feedback so that I can be able to make sure that you are getting your gift. You can send me any kind of message that you desire. You can send me a request for special guest and all of that, but it won't be noted as submitting the feedback so that you can get the gift, or just to let me know how we're doing if you don't select the correct one. If you decide that you wanted to submit a request to be a guest on SatHERday's with Shalimar J, you need to make sure that when you submit that request, that the information is in there and you select the correct one. Now, if you decided you wanted to submit a request and give feedback, don't put your feedback in your request, because it will be recognized as simply a request for SatHERday's with Shalimar J and not the feedback. All right, guys? So, yes, send the feedback. Send it, send it, send it, send it. I really, really, really will appreciate it. Now, after the show, when I have guests on the show, there is something that is called After the Show Behind the Scenes, and it is on YouTube. We never, ever, I have yet to experience, had a situation where we finished having our SatHERday's with Shalimar J conversation in the 28 minutes and 30 seconds that we have for this show on Preach the Word Worldwide Network. And so it rolls over, but it is unedited. It's raw. We laugh, we giggle, we play, we say whatever we got to say. The topic shifts. We cry. All kind of stuff goes on after the show behind the scenes. And so I ask you to make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. Simply search for Girl Embrace It when you go to YouTube, and make sure you click the notification bell so that you are notified every time that we are airing or upload or go live. But it airs every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go right there and literally watch after the show behind the scenes with myself and whoever my guest is. My guest that's coming up soon this month, we've got, man, some serious jewels. God has been doing an amazing thing. The women that have been coming on here sharing their testimonies have touched me so, and several others, because it's been expressed. So just stay tuned, guys. Keep coming on and keep watching SatHERday's with Shalimar J at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keep watching, keep watching. I promise you, you'll be blessed. All right. So we've already gotten it together with regards to what we want to reset. Now we just got to make sure that we are realigning some things. Write it down on your papers, on your list, wherever you've got it, in your tablet. You're taking your notes with your notepad, or you've got your fancy phone with the notes, whatever it is, do it. Until next time, guys, it's been real. Your scars are beautiful. Why? Because they are your testimony. Bye, guys.